Well, guys, it wasn't what I think any of us expected. I'm extremely upset about how we came out and played that game. There were certain players on the field that didn't play hard, and that's the most frustrating thing as a fan to see that. Some players are crap and competitive and still wanted to try to win the game. They didn't just give up on everybody just because we were down. First of all, we'll get into that here in a second, but let's get into the defensive side of the football. First of all, what I said before this game is because this Dolphins team has been bipolar for years now. We just played, Seattle, held them to 12 points. We go to New England, and the first 3 drives, touchdowns. Every time they got the ball, they scored a touchdown. They came out throwing it all over the playground. It seemed like every time Jimmy snapped the ball, it was at least 15 yards down the field. They kept getting us on screen passes. Our linebackers were Jimmy was throwing it towards our linebackers. John Jenkins didn't get his head around. Koa didn't get his head around. They were too busy looking at the receiver because they beat them with their speed. I don't know why we were matching up linebackers with wide receivers so much. I thought that was a little. As much as they passed it on us, I would have rather had an extra DB out there and even if they ran the ball, I don't even care. Like, fine. But we were just getting absolutely wrecked on defense. Our defensive line got no pressure when Jimmy was out there. Our linebackers played pretty terrible. The exception for Kiko. Kiko didn't play bad at all. Koa and Jelani did not play good. There was nothing good I could say about those two. In that first half, we played absolutely terrible on defense. We couldn't get no pressure. We couldn't get any pressure. They kept screening it, and they were getting 15, 20 yards. They had a holding penalty, and they screened it, to Martellus Bennett. He had a huge game on us. Issa Abdul-Quddus, Rashard Jones, absolutely non-existent in that first half, and it was absolutely terrible, man. I was so upset. I was throwing things. I was livid with how we played on defense. It was terrible. And I said this. I was like, we can't. Laying up 21 points, man. Just every time they did, like I said, every time they did anything, it was 15, 20 yards or something like that. It was crazy. They came out and absolutely just annihilated our defense. And it made me upset. I was ridiculous. Like, how the heck are you going to, just at least stop them once, for God's sakes. With 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. And Jimmy Garoppolo absolutely wrecked us. For the offensive side of the ball, couldn't get any run game going. Pass protection was very poor in that first half. Ryan Tannehill did not play very well in the first half at all. Can you blame him? I don't know what Dolphins fans expect to happen when you look up at the scoreboard and we're going to get. It's not like we're not going against a bad this defense is good. This defense isn't bad, and especially Bill Belichick is probably the best defensive line in NFL history, for God's sakes. And he totally and utterly handled us in that first half. It wasn't, we couldn't, even, at the end of the half, we drive down the field and kick a field goal. And that was the brightest spot of the first half by far. It was ridiculous. That game, the first half was so hard to watch. I think we were down, 31-3 going into half. It was pretty hard. No, I don't think we're down 31-3. Maybe 21. I can't remember what we were down, but we were down by a ton of points, or 24-3, something like that. So we get a huge deficit down by half. But I'm not saying Ryan Tannehill was a crap and golden child or anything, because he didn't play very well, and there was people open on third down too. There was a couple people open on third down that he didn't hit, and he didn't have time to hit them. He was getting pressured pretty dang hard. But that isn't. Our defense came out and played like they didn't even care, for God's sakes. After a while, I thought when we were down 14-0, I was really concerned about the personalities on our team, the leadership on our team, because that has been a huge problem with this Dolphins team. And I'm not pointing fingers or anything, but I hate seeing players smiling and laughing on the sideline when you're down 24-0. I hate that. There's nothing more than I hate than that. You should be yelling at each other. You should be upset. You shouldn't be sitting here laughing. And talking it up on the sideline. It's not funny. Do you think as us diehard fans, you think we're sitting here laughing and watching this game? So that you're telling me it means more to us than it does to you. That's what really ticks me off about some of these players on this team. And I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna but there were some of that. I was getting very upset with that. I was frustrated with that. It ticks me off. So let's get to the second half. So obviously we score going out of half. Obviously Jimmy Garoppolo goes down, which is a huge deal. He was on fire, and that totally changes the game plan of the Patriots. I'm not gonna say it doesn't. Whether they would have scored more points or not, they probably would. Who knows? But I'm just taking that into consideration. That second half, Ryan Tannehill probably played the best football he's ever played against the Patriots, and certainly in Gillette Stadium. I mean, that's not even close. It definitely seemed like Ryan Tannehill still thought we could win the game, and he came out there and absolutely balled out. And this whole notion that the Patriots were playing soft defense. If you really think that, then look what happened last year when we played the Patriots up in Gillette Stadium. We got absolutely destroyed up there, and we didn't score. They didn't let us score anything at half. I think we had 17, 14, 13 points at half. I don't think we scored anything in the second half, and they definitely didn't play soft. I see a lot of people saying that they played soft. That's the only reason, right? Everyone's got to make excuses all the time that why Ryan Tannehill has success. No, Ryan Tannehill earned that. It wasn't the Patriots didn't just give him that. Do you know how stupid that sounds? Yeah, Bill Belichick was like, all right, we're gonna play 15 yards off the receivers and just let Ryan Tannehill, especially when we started coming back, they still played the same defense. Ryan Tannehill just no huddled. Audible, it was amazing. I mean, he took over the game. It was awesome. It was probably, like I said, probably the best, best game he's ever played against the Patriots in one half. Like now I'm not talking the whole game collectively, but in that second half, that was something to watch. I mean, he really was on fire. And and what can you say about the defense when the game was on the line? I think there was 4 minutes to go. They're not going to pass it with their third-string rookie quarterback. That's not going to happen. He played awful, before that, and they just, there was a toss to LeGarrette Blount. He got like 5 yards after contact. It was just absolutely terrible. I was like, me and my brother were watching. My brother is a Panthers fan. He was like, I can't believe you guys aren't, selling out for the run. And I was like, I know. I don't understand why we weren't either. And our linebackers again came in, played terrible. They played terrible. They literally ran 2 toss plays for like 10 yards that drive. It was insane. If we stop them early, we give Tannehill time to go down and score again, but obviously they end up missing the field goal. We only I think a minute and some change left. I think minute 10 seconds, something like that, minute 9 seconds, and obviously we moved the ball down the field, but just not enough time. And Ryan Tannehill, I give it up to you. Jarvis Landry over 100 yards receiving, 137 I think. Devontae Parker over 100 yards receiving. That duo came out and played. And the defense played absolutely terrible. They played absolutely terrible, and I'm very disappointed in them. Not one of our defensive players that I could say played well at all. It was just that you can't let up 30-something points, especially 21 points in the first quarter. That's not good. That's not good. So that's going to be it, guys. I'm Skyx83. Hopefully we can bounce back against the Cleveland Browns. I am thoroughly upset about this game. Heck of a comeback effort by Tannehill, but our defense just did not show up. So that's going to be, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.